Hey everybody, today I wanted to do a September recap update on our group subjects so far for the school year. So I filmed a video on my 4th grader and another video on my 7th grader, and then this one is going to be our group subjects. So for the most part, things have been going well. We've slowly been adding things in. We got off to a really good start. I did make a video on our first week of school, so you can kind of check that out if you would like, but I have slowly been adding things in, and some of that has been good and some of it has not. So let me show you kind of what our daily schedule looks like. So this is a schedule I shared at the beginning of the year for kind of the flow of our day. We try to do a small amount of group work Monday through Thursday before we start our individual subjects, and then the bulk of our group work is on Friday. And then they also have a Friday notebook that's just their little bit of individual work Friday, and then most of it's group subjects. And then we have kind of time to do makeup work if there's anything we didn't get to earlier in the week. So this, I did tweak this from like our first week, just little things. For the most part, this has stayed the same and it's working relatively well. We will kind of pop out of order if need be. Like the things in yellow are the things that I am needed specifically for. And so like if my daughter's ready to do Lightning Lit and I'm still working on something like math with her brother or something like that, you know, she'll jump ahead and do something else. And if you watch like any of our day in the life videos, you can kind of see that we do that when necessary, and that's fine. This is just kind of a guideline for us, and it's been working pretty well. So in my planner, I use the School Nest weekly planning notebook. This is not specifically for homeschool, but I like it. I took the binding off and spiral bound it and laminated the covers and put dividers in, a whole bunch of stuff. But at any rate, it works for me. And, but anyways, so what I end up writing in my planner is our group work in green at the beginning, and then my daughter's individual work, my son's individual work. And that's just so I don't put like the specifics of what they're doing in here, just the subject, so that I can kind of keep track as we're going, what's been done and what hasn't been done. And then you can see the bulk of our group work is on Fridays. So one problem I was running into is because our first week of school went so fantastic, and then our second week that went so great, is that I started adding things in to like, especially this morning time. And that got not fun real fast. Yeah, so we added in spelling like every day, and then I was trying to do the writing revolution every day, and we were adding in election things, and we had our ADHD workbook, and just all kinds of things. That's not even all of it. But anyway, real quick, I realized that I should not do that, because this morning group time was taking so long to get done before they could even get to their individual work, and it was making for a really long day, and everyone was cranky. So I've kind of tried to reel it back a little bit and just not try to do everything, we'll say. So we do a lot of our like read alouds in the evening, and I've shared these before. And actually I have a couple that have just gone back to the library, but this is like our main one that we're reading. My husband reads this to the kids, just a section every night. I have it tabbed out for the whole year. And this is going well. I think he likes it a little bit more than the kids like it, but the kids are still interested in it. But that's been going well. This is when we added in, I don't know, relatively, oh my gosh, words, relatively recently. The goal is for us to do these every night, but it doesn't always happen. I'm just being real. It doesn't always happen. We also read the first Tristan Strong book, but that has traveled somewhere. And we read Susie B. Won't Back Down. And then we've had some other read alouds in the evening, mostly that relate to like our election unit, but I think, I don't know where they are. They're not here, but read alouds have been going fine. All right. So this is actually October, so I should probably move that. But what I have kind of narrowed down our morning time to, our morning group subjects, let me say that, is on Mondays we work through this. This has been a little bit of a challenge. It's a little tricky to kind of figure out the implementation, and so I've been kind of struggling with that. I thought that this would be a good program for us to use just because I thought I could implement it with both kids, just sharing different spelling rules at the same time. Time will tell if that's actually how this is going to work. We're still figuring it out, but we have moved this from 4 days a week just to 1 day a week. And I'm not ready to give up on it just yet. I think it's good. I think I still just need to figure it out. On Mondays, I added in Grammar Voyage right before we start Fix It Grammar. They both do Fix It Grammar. So right before we start that, we've been reading together, and we just go through a section on Mondays before we start Fix It Grammar. And so that's been going well. Also, I have not added in the practice portion, and I likely won't for a while if I do at all. We'll see. But that's been going all right, and just doing it on Mondays when we do Fix It Grammar. We also have our ADHD workbooks. These I put on hold for a couple weeks. I don't want to continue these in our group time. These really are more beneficial to my kids when they're done just one-on-one with me, when the other child is not sitting there at the same time. So I need to find another place to fit these in. So for right now, they are not part of our group work. I think I need to carve out like maybe a 15-20 minute time slot for each kid, at least once a week, but ideally every day, where I just have them one-on-one to do something like this or other things that I would want to put in when we're done with this. But I haven't quite figured that out yet. So that's a work in progress. We also have been doing, the kids have been liking trivia. So we have a bunch of these and I never use them. But now that they're a little older, I feel like they work a little better. So we've been pulling these out and just doing a couple of them in the mornings. When I remember, we've been doing those, and that's been going well. So yeah, when I make my October update, I'll kind of give you a better idea of what has made the final cut for our morning group work. But it's mostly like a read aloud and that spelling on certain days, and I'm trying to keep it to like 3 things or less if I can, because it got to be too much. I got really excited, I think, with how well things were going, and I just kept adding. And I have that problem. It's like I tell my kids when we're making art, I always I never know when to stop. And like you have something that looks beautiful and then you just took it too far. I feel like I do that with a lot of areas of my life. So anyway, that's that. Our Friday group work. We are reading aloud from Big Ideas for Curious Minds. I really like this book. We have added in some journaling with it though, because I feel like just talking about these topics is not enough. I feel like I want my kids to be doing more kind of self-reflection on how these specifically relate to them and their experiences. So they don't love that part of it, but we're doing it anyway because I think it's important. So that is part of our Friday group work. We have been doing an election study so far all year long. This, For Which We Stand, was kind of the basis for it. I've made other videos on all of our election resources, so I won't go into a lot of detail on these, but it's been going well. I will be glad when it's done though. It's like 11 weeks of this and I'm kind of done. But I also added in way more stuff than I have originally planned on doing. We added in the Mint and Bloom units. We've done the first 4, which is what's out so far, I think there's supposed to be 2 more. But we've done the first 4 of those. We added in a few pieces from the Build Your Library unit study as well. We didn't use a ton from this. Let's see. We pulled a bunch of the books and we used those in different ways. And then we used a few of the printables, but just pieces and parts from this one. And then we read that Susie B. Won't Back Down, and we did the discussion guide with that. And yeah, that's pretty much the election unit along with that, For Which We Stand. And then all the other books we've kind of been bringing in along with it. It's been going well. We also finished, and I will do a whole separate video on this problem-based learning, the great debates. One of you requested a flip through. I have a couple other videos where I show inside here, but it's not like an official flip through, but I will try to show more and do a review video on it. But this went really well. It was really fun because it was something that the whole family took part in. My husband was really interested in it. And we did this probably at a much lower level and didn't go as in depth in some of the things as you might if you had an older middle schooler or a high schooler. And we will revisit this probably in another 4 years, would be my guess, when my kids are older and can get a little bit more involved in the research. So we did, I guess, just not as intense of a study with this as maybe you could do, but they really, really enjoyed it. And I feel like they learned quite a bit, and we'll just build on that and do it again in another 4 years. But this was good. I will do a video separately on that. But that's been all of the election stuff. We watched all the debates, and the kids watched them as well. And so that was that. Game Logic is going well. This is like one of their favorites. They have their little notebooks where they brainstorm game ideas and answer some questions and things that we do in here. So this has been going well. We will finish this in a few weeks. So, oh yeah, I guess we're headed into week 8. Yeah, all right, next week's week 8. So next week they are going to start making their own game, and then we just have to, I think does this just go to week 9? Yeah, I think I only have this scheduled through week 9. So it's just been a lot of fun for them. My kids are both really creative. They like making up different, games and learning new games. So we've been playing a ton of games with this. Anytime we read a chapter and they reference certain games, 9 times out of 10 we have those. And so sometimes they're games that the kids haven't played yet. They're things that like I bought because I thought it looked cooler. My husband and I bought for ourselves. So we've been able to pull those out and play them, which has been fun. They did, I think this past Friday, the activity, I had them each go secretly pull a game from the game cabinet. They each picked one, they brought them in, and then they had to come up with on their own a way to mash up the two games together. So that was really fun. We recreated, I think I showed it in a day in the life video, the royal game of I think. So they made that and got to, be creative and pick, what we're going to use for pieces and things like that. We didn't make a Mancala board game, but we already had one, and so we played that. That's now like a favorite. So this has been going really, really well. And so I think we will finish strong with that. One thing we did, this was, I think last week, they did build their own neuron with beads. They worked together and just built one because, I don't know, they didn't want to each do their own. And then we talked a lot about kind of our brains and what the effect video games can have on our brains. And we implemented kind of I made a chart where they earn their screen time, and for them, screen time is usually just the Switch. They don't watch like much TV. And so anyway, we tied that in with this as well. So anyway, this is going really, really well. I'm sure they will be bummed when it is done with. All right, building language is something that I added on Fridays. We did not start the year with this, but it is going well. I'm not going to flip through this because it does have my name and email address on the tops of all the pages because I bought the digital format, but it is going well. We are learning different STEM words, and they really enjoyed like the beginning part of this where it talked about the Roman arch. We built one. I have these blocks that I think I showed them in another video. We built an arch. We talked about the keystone and just relating the building blocks of the arch and how that relates to Latin and our language now. And anyway, this has been going well. It doesn't take us very long. We just read through a section together, talk about it. They usually ask, you write like a little poem and you can write a simile, and we just do those on our marker boards along with it, but that's been going well. All right, and then creative writing. We've been doing a picture book study and working towards writing our own picture book. This has been going well, but I will say my plan was for at the end of the first semester for them to make their picture book, and we will send it off to have it bound. We have those kits, I think they're called Illustory. And then in second semester, we were going to move on to chapter books and studying different chapter books and starting to write our own. And I think we're gonna hold off on the chapter book because we haven't even really gotten to illustration yet. We're still just studying different picture books and writing, just little bits that could be turned into a picture book. So I think we're gonna need second semester to really fine tune which one they choose for their picture book, and as well as like the illustrations and things. So that's what I'm thinking right now. But we've been using this text structures from picture books and how to write a children's picture book. And typically, I've shared these in a lot of my planning videos, but we will pick a book. Let me find one that we use. Like we used one called Spork. Oh, here we go. We did this one. We read the book. We did a quick write. We talked about the craft moves and the structure. And then we basically split this into 2 weeks. We did like this stuff on week 1, and we did a couple of these activities on week 2. And then on week 3, to kind of go along with it, I pulled in these writing centers. So this one was an object mashup, which kind of went along with a spork. And so we worked through these. And so that's kind of our flow for doing this. We study one picture book from here, and we will pull in others that are kind of either on the same topic or by the same author, and do the activities in here for 2 weeks, and then we do this 1 week. So it's kind of like a 3-week process, and then we switch to something else. So we've done object mashups, we've done adventures with strange items, we did the book Spork, we did You Don't Eat Your Classmates. That was so fun. And that might be all we've done from here, because each one takes us about 3 weeks. So I feel like we're missing a week though. Oh, because we already started. We did Stregonona. That was October though. Okay, that's fine. Never mind. So that's kind of how that's been going. And they have their little, I made them creative writing binders, and they have, this is just in there to kind of remind them about how to stretch a sentence. And then they just have the work that they've done in the front. And then when we're working on something, we have these folders that I made for them to keep it in their pre-write, their draft, their revise, and their edit. And so yeah, that's been going well. But like I said, I think I just need to allot more time for it. And so I think we are going to stretch that into second semester instead of doing chapter books. So I think those are all of our group subjects. I'm trying to think of things that we have not been consistently doing the Writing Revolution kind of little writing exercises in the mornings. That's something that I have to figure out a way to fit in a more manageable way, because I've also been adding in like some seasonal things: game logic, philosophy, creative writing, election study. Yes. That's second semester. And then read alouds, Tristan Strong, and Susie B Won't Back Down. So yeah, I think those are all our group subjects. If I forgot something, I'm sure someone's gonna remind me. But anyway, I think that's it. Everything's for the most part going well. I just have a little trouble with I tried to add too much in. So now I'm trying to kind of take it back a little and get back to where we were those first couple of weeks of school where everything was going, so well. So things are still going well, but that's all I need to start to overcomplicate something. So anyway, that is our kind of recap of the last 6 or 7 weeks, I guess 6 weeks. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you down in the comments.